Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at Kalibak from DC Direct's New Gods Series 2. Now this is the more humanoid Kalibak, the sort of dark side, and quite honestly I'm not so familiar with his non-furry look. I guess he was more humanoid at one point, either just in terms of artwork or maybe he underwent a transformation. I do not know. Haven't really followed the New Gods at all, and even when I try looking up on Wikipedia and stuff, I can't recall really seeing anything well about a big transformation or anything. At any rate, the packaging on this is really neat. Lots of different elements, and of course, you have to love the giant dark side in the corner and stuff there. It's also weird because his hand's like kind of on the top of the package here, so I'm not sure if that's supposed to signify anything. But hold on a second and I'll get Kalibak out of the pack. Kalibak comes with a mace, which is sort of generic looking, as well as this really neat stand, which is this sort of cosmic design to it. Now it's kind of funny, but Kalibak's human form looks a bit more monstrous than his, I guess, monster form. And it's just a sort of squat, ugly-looking design. Although it's exceptionally done in that regard, you'll notice that he's got a really chiseled look, and something about it just looks very comic-y, in terms of like he could have been ripped off the panels of a older issue or whatnot, just given all these straight lines and stuff. For comparison, here's the DC Universe Classics Kalibak, the Collect and Connect from Wave 6. It's kind of interesting because this version is in fact a little bit taller, although he does pick up a lot of the width. And I don't know, as far as character designs go, I very much prefer the more monstrous, furry, not quite as ugly version of Kalibak, because let's face it, this is a face you might be able to love. This, yeah. Though I think things are generally, I guess, not as ugly looking when they have fur. There are very few ugly looking mammals. I mean, I'm sure there are a few out there, but I mean, most of the really ugly looking ones don't have fur. It's actually interesting too, because he has the same sort of black with light blue highlights on both their hairs. Back at the time, I think like everybody wore capes. It's a very popular fashion choice. Now, a little height comparison. Here's DC Universe Classics Wave 6 Superman. So once again, this is a really huge figure, and I believe that's probably in scale. I mean, even though it's from different lines and stuff, because Kalibak is a larger character and everything. Detail-wise, just not a lot of color variation. It's mostly just solids and stuff, which again sort of reflects the artistic style from the comics and everything. He's just got all these really crazy chisel marks as well too. Especially here in the legs, it's just kind of weird. Yeah. But I guess generally speaking, it's not an attractive looking figure, but it's just a well sculpted figure, and it's got a lot of detail, even if the detail is kind of not pleasing to the eye. Now he can hold his mace or club or cudgel or whatever you choose to call it in his right hand. In terms of articulation, he has a point of rotation at the wrists, single pin at the elbows. It's the first time I'm actually really using the joints. Ball jointed shoulders, kind of impeded motion because it's not a line straight across, and you'll notice it kind of gets some paint scrape and stuff when you move it in there, so there's a green highlight there. Also, he's got a chip on his hair. That's sort of an isolated problem with mine, I think. Head rotates, a little bit of up and down. With larger characters, they do have to look down quite a bit, so it's sort of an essential point of articulation. His rotation at the waist, hinged hips, or at least I think they're hinged. Yep. The tunic down here is a soft rubbery plastic, so it won't really impede motion. Single pin at the knee, rotation at the boot, and even though it looks like it, you don't actually have any ankle movement, which is sort of a disappointment, but kind of a standard for DC Directs at the time. All in all, I know I've said this a dozen times, not an attractive looking figure, but a very well done figure in terms of, an artistic standpoint. I mean, this is the kind of face and body that gives small children nightmares. Those giant, huge, bushy eyebrows, that crazy amount of hair. I mean, at the same time, there's still something really cool looking about this. And, definitely a sort of interesting item. Something that you could display alongside the more monstrous Kalibak if you wished, or so forth, or the more classical looking New Gods designs as opposed to the, I guess, more recent, nuttier looks for the characters. But this has been a look at Kalibak from DC Direct New Gods Series 2. Yeah, I think it's an okay figure. Until next time, folks.